President Trump decided to double down on secrecy and corruption in his administration. He's refusing to release the White House visitor logs. So the New York Times says the White House announced Friday that it would cut off public access to visitor logs, revealing who is entering the White House complex and which officials they are meeting, breaking with the Obama administration's practice and returning a cloak of secrecy over the basic day-to-day workings of the government. The decision, which White House officials said was necessary for reasons of national security, was the latest attempt by President Trump, who has promised to drain the swamp in Washington to shield his activities from scrutiny. It effectively bars the public from knowing which activists, lobbyists, political donors, and others are gaining access to the president and his aides on a daily basis. Okay, so this is a terrible move. It, of course, makes it so that there's less transparency in the government, and make no mistake about it, this is to hide further corruption. There's no other explanation for it. They say national security. Well, okay, I need every single reporter in the country to ask the Trump administration and press them on it. What does that mean? National security, who are you meeting with that would endanger national security? You know that doesn't make any sense, right? There's not even a theoretical, hypothetical argument you could come up with where you say, yeah, you need to hide all the visitors to the White House because ISIS, bro, or something like that. Whatevs. That makes no sense. There's no logical connection from one point to the other point. So everybody should be calling bullshit on it. And this is what's so annoying about the establishment press is that they'll report it like they just kind of report it as like, yeah, they say it's for national security. Anyway, moving on. No, that you got to focus on that and say that's not true. The very next word should be, that is preposterous. That is absurd. That makes absolutely no sense. Of course they're doing it to try to get away with their corruption and get away with the legalized bribery and try to hide official business, which we should know about because we're your boss, bitch. You're the president of the U.S. We're your boss. You're not our boss. Remember when Trump said, the forgotten man and woman will never be forgotten again? That's exactly what you're doing here. You're not even going to tell us who's meeting with you and what's going on? It's such a joke, man. It really is, and it's so sad. But I have to say, yet again, the Democrats drive me crazy because the Democrats come out, and now this is the end-all be-all. They say, release the logs, woo! Okay, should he release the logs? Yes, of course he should release the logs. Nobody's questioning that. But they don't follow it up with the next obvious point, which is, we already know how corrupt you are. They make it seem like, if he releases the logs, maybe we'll learn he's corrupt. I just told you in the last segment, he's appointed at least 4 Goldman Sachs officials to his administration, even though he railed against Goldman Sachs on the campaign trail and called Hillary the candidate of Goldman Sachs. 4, Gary Cohn, the president of Goldman Sachs, he put in his administration, top economic advisor. I don't even think Hillary would have had the balls, weird thing to say, to do that. I don't. Because the perception was too strong. I think she would have done Goldman Sachs bidding, to be clear. But I don't know if she would have said, yeah, 4 top guys at least. Come on, you're in my administration now. So they are directly affecting regulatory policy. So they're going to deregulate Wall Street through and through, even more so than it already is. They're going to allow these corporations to keep using tax havens and dodge paying their fair share in taxes and shift the burden onto you, the average person. They're rigging the system in their favor. Guys, Goldman Sachs is just a criminal organization. That's what it is. I mean, you had fraud was the business model. I'm not kidding about that. So they would turn around and sell to their clients the toxic subprime mortgage packages that were rated AAA, which, by the way, was a fraud. I mean, they were paying the ratings agencies to give them the high ratings, the high numbers, the high ranking, I should say. So you're lying that way. You sell a product like it's awesome. Then you turn around and bet on the same product to fail. That's fraud. You can't do that. You can't say, hey, it's great, but you know it's bad and you vote against it because then you're lying to your clients. That's what they did and they got away with it. And now they run the fucking government. I mean, they've always, to one extent or another, run the government. Obama took tremendous amounts of Wall Street money too, which is why his regulatory efforts were really weak and had a lot of loopholes. But Trump is just putting it into fucking hyperdrive. Are you kidding me? He picked Rex Tillerson, the CEO of ExxonMobil, to be Secretary of State. That's like the definition of corruption. That's the definition of an oligarchy or a corporatocracy or a kleptocracy. Government of by and for the rich, of by and for the billionaires and corporations. That's what it is. Trump said repeatedly, we're going to take the oil, talking about from Iraq, steal their natural resources, commit a war crime, and now he picks the CEO of ExxonMobil to be Secretary of State. I wonder if he wants to follow through on that. Oh, come on, man. Okay, Tom Price, Health and Human Services Secretary. He had a giant scandal where he invested $300,000 of his own money into health companies. Then he turned around and proposed bills as a congressman that increased the stock of those companies. You can't do that! In fact, even though we have lax campaign finance laws, he was under investigation for that because that is fucking illegal. That's why they fired the U.S. attorney, Preet Bharara. By the way, yeah, there you go, Democrats. There's your fucking scandal you can hammer away on. Trump picks corrupt Health and Human Services Secretary. Health and Human Services Secretary is under investigation. Trump fires guy who's doing investigation. I've never seen a clear case of corrupt through and through. Corrupt. Hiring fucking Goldman Sachs people as corrupt as it gets. They own the government. They bought the government. And what are you out there? Release the logs. Woo! Yes, he should release the logs. But you should say, not like, hey, maybe if he releases it, we'll know how corrupt he is. Already point out his corruption. It's already there. It's already there for you. He has the richest administration in fucking history. He had Sheldon Adelson and other mega donors that were on the fucking stage or right by him during inauguration. I mean, what a joke this is. Come on, man. I need you to get your head out of your ass. Because if you're not focusing on the right things and you're not making the right arguments, you're not going to win. In order to win, you have to do these things. And in order to get a progressive wave, you have to do these things. So, justicedemocrats.com, because we know how to frame the arguments. We know how to make the arguments. We're Democrats who take no corporate money, no PAC money. We're going to look out for the people because we raise our funds from the people. And then we're going to try to get money out of politics, get a single-payer healthcare system, get free college, make the minimum wage a living wage and tie it to inflation, end the stupid interventionist, offensive nation-building wars, end the drug war. This is what we're about, man. And this is what everybody should be fighting for if they really do believe in liberal and progressive values.